It's Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. Let's celebrate. Welcome to Rochelle Lightfoot's Kwanzaa Celebration Special. Today's episode centers around the principles of UJIMA, collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. Stay tuned. We'll be speaking with Brother Lau Muhammad with the Circle of Brotherhood organization and how Black men are solving our own community problems here in Miami, Florida. Then, Master Chef Chad Cherry will prepare one of his award winning entrees. Later, I will sing You Were Loved with my Sweet Vibes Trio Band. Now, on to the show. Are you looking for a venue for your next special event? Well, Art at the Elks has it all. Enjoy hosting your next conference, workshop, reception, birthday party, trade show, or business meeting at a spacious location within an intimate atmosphere. Boasting over 7,000 square feet of multi-use event spaces, the center also offers 6 gallery-style studios and 5 co-working office spaces. It features a separate bar area, prep kitchen, valet parking, and security. The Art at the Elks is located conveniently in the heart of the city at 4949 Northwest 7th Avenue in Miami, Florida. Call to book your facility tour appointment today at 786-520-3980. And we look forward to serving you. Good evening, everyone. It is day 3 of our Kwanzaa celebration. Today, to talk about collective work and responsibility, we have Brother Lau Muhammad. He is the Executive Director of Circle of Brotherhood. Let's welcome our guest tonight, Brother Lau Muhammad. How are you? Happy Kwanzaa and welcome to the show.
Well, only by the grace of God am I well. And in the true tradition of this great celebration, I say Habaragani, how is the news? And the news is good when we have sisters like you that are making sure that our culture is not lost or left behind.
Tell us about the organization Circle of Brotherhood.
The Circle of Brotherhood. We are a group of primarily Black men from all walk of life. We say from the streets to the suites.
All right.
We have brothers in the Circle of Brotherhood that have been very destructive in the community, and some done double-digit years in prison, and some have built great businesses and never seen the back of a police car.
Okay.
We also come from many different backgrounds. Some of us are Muslim, some of us are Christian, but we're united together to solve our own community problems. It was about back in 2012. A lot of people remember the television show that used to come on First 48.
Yes.
And Detective Ford in
Yes.
Homicide. As a matter of
Yes.
fact, he did Homicide in 3 of our neighborhoods. And just imagine doing that for 27 years. But there was a series of murders that took place. And he noticed how quickly they were becoming cold cases.
Okay.
He reached out for then Commissioner Michelle Spence Jones. And she said these words. She says, well, I don't know what to do, but I know who to call. And she called about 5 of us together, some of us meeting for the very first time, kind of familiar with each other's work from a distance. But we made a promise to ourselves that day that we would never allow anything that disunites us to stand in the way of what we could do together. And that led to the birth of the Circle of Brotherhood.
All right. So tell us about some of the community events that you all are active a part of throughout the year. So that we can get a good feel of your philanthropy efforts that you all do in the community.
I was on a national call last night with a group of Black United men from across the country that numbered around 300. And they were going from city to city listing the different activities because there's a service day that's taking place. And as I was listening to all of the things that they were doing, Sister Rochelle, I was like, my goodness, this is the life of the Circle of Brotherhood. Whether it's feeding, clothing, reading, mentoring, economic development, standing up for freedom, justice, and equality, supporting our women, you name it. We're involved in so many different levels, And the most beautiful thing about it, I have to be honest, is that we represent an element that obviously our people miss seeing in our community.
Right.
And that's black men love on black men.
Ooh, say that again.
And when we see black men loving on black men in a positive and constructive way,
right.
then the children and
Showing
the mamas
love
know it's
to
going to
each
be all
other.
right.
Right, exactly. So I understand that you all work a lot with the youth and with the collective work and responsibility. How do you relay that principle in your teachings and the classes and the efforts that you all provide in the community for the children with, I guess it's an after-school program, weekends, summer programs that you all have?
All of the above. And I really appreciate the principle of UJIMA, collective work and responsibility, highlighting our work, because it is a collective work.
Right.
Look, it's no secret in our community. Our sisters have held it down. They've held our families down. They've held our communities down.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
They've held us down.
Yes.
And so now as we as black men come together collectively, we represent a united group of excellence.
Okay.
Because again, if we're dealing with construction, with a brother who's leading construction, he's going to lead in that. And we're going to collectively get behind and work that vision. So the beautiful thing about it is that we're God-led and we're God-fed, and we let those lead in those particular areas. But in terms of our youth, we all know are broken in more ways than people realize, because they don't often get a chance to express that brokenness. And one of the beautiful things about our approach, which we share in the brotherhood, is that there are no big eyes or no little U's.
Yes.
And so when they see us working together in that fashion, I was speaking to a group of outreach workers that we have the other day, and I was with our president, Pastor Jeffrey Mack, who's the president and one of the co-founders of the Circle of Brotherhood. And I told him, you can see myself and Pastor Mack. You might see us picking up trash. You might see us counseling, teaching, training, and business meetings, but there's no job that's too big or too small. And so our young people, they get that love. They get the steel and the velvet that they miss. A man's supposed to be steel and velvet, just like the hand. And so when they see that represented and they get the same thing from this brother, and then they go and get it in a different flavor from that brother. And so that is a very powerful thing. Even to come in on our mentoring sessions, if you didn't know what was going on, you would know something special was taking place.
Right. So you shared a beautiful clip with us, with you teaching the young children about Kwanzaa, and you all have a song. And tell us a little bit about that while we run a little bit of that clip.
Wow. I just thank God for the mind of Ron Karenga to see down a tunnel of time and know that we would need something to mark our history. And so I've always been in youth development. And how can you be in youth development and not be in music?
Right.
And so as I begin to learn about the principles of Kwanzaa, the meaning of Kwanzaa, the different things that represent Kwanzaa, I begin to study some Swahili.
Okay.
And so, and then having mentors around who were teaching me, and it became a way where the children would sing the songs. And so we were actually doing a summer program. And that very song, we would take the children down the street, and they would be singing the song while they're going down the street. And then the whole community would just start singing. Now you hear these principles ringing through the streets. It's a beautiful thing.
So why don't you start us off a little bit? Let me hear a little bit of it, and I'll try to follow you as much as I can.
Okay, so it's a call and response then, so you got to help me. So I want everyone to picture, I want you to imagine 50 youth coming from their learning place, walking down the street to the park. And then we would start them off with this march and this chant, and we'd go something like this. Hashima na umoja.
Hashima na umoja.
Respect plus unity.
Respect plus unity.
For the black community.
For the black community.
Put it in a cup.
Put it in a cup.
Mix it all up.
Mix it all up.
Kujichagulia.
Kujichagulia.
Na UJIMA.
Na UJIMA.
Self-determination.
Self-determination.
Plus collective work.
Plus collective work.
And responsibility.
And responsibility.
For you and all the world to see.
For you and all the world to see.
Ujamanania.
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 Cooperative economics.
Cooperative economics.
Plus a sense of purpose.
Plus a sense of purpose.
A strong sense of purpose.
A strong sense of purpose.
Kuumba na imani.
Kuumba imani.
Black creativity.
Black creativity.
Plus faith in our community.
Plus faith in our community.
For you and all the world to see.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
A lot of people have the courage to do that. That was all right.
Oh, well, you know. That's a sweetheart of song. Beautiful. We're going to sing that. Beautiful. Definitely.
You know, a true story. About 2 months ago, I was flipping through Facebook. Now, I have to be honest with you. We developed that song maybe 30-something years ago.
Wow.
And I was flipping through Facebook, and I saw some youth performing that song. And I thought about a man like Ron Karenga starting a tradition like Kwanzaa. Probably like Noah, probably getting laughed at because people don't think that we need those kind of things. And then we come up to a modern time and we have a hero, a shero like you that understands that we have to embody our principles. So it's an honor.
You're way too kind. Thank you so much. So tell us if you have any upcoming activities, events happening for 2021 that we should be on the lookout for. And tell us how we can follow you on either your website or, you know, all of the contact information. Can we share that a little bit with our audience tonight?
I'll do that. And, you know, the beginning of the year is very important for the Circle of Brotherhood because a lot of key things happen right in the month of January.
Okay.
One of the things that happens in the month of January is that we honor and we celebrate women. We have an annual women's celebration. We recognize women in our community who are doing outstanding things and outstanding work. That takes place in January. And our all men's meeting that kicks off the year. We do it the week right after the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. parade.
All right.
So we're out there in the parade and we're advertising to all of those men and we bring them together at the beginning of the year to set our agenda for the rest of the year. And so what we're always participating in events and activities, whether it's community service or helping out with crime and violence, you know. And people, if you want to find us, our website, www.circleofbrotherhoodmiami.org. www.circleofbrotherhoodmiami.org. It'll take you wherever you need to go in terms of learning and connecting with the Circle of Brotherhood.
Well, I certainly want to thank you, Brother Lal Muhammad, for being with us on this evening. I want to just give you a mic toast since we can't do anything else in this time of our COVID pandemic. But thank you so much for joining us here in the studio. Happy Kwanzaa to you and your family. And I'm going to be checking in on you and looking out for you all.
A blessed Kwanzaa to you and to our listening audience as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back, everyone.
Turn heads, look and feel great in an award-winning outfit from celebrity clothing designer Shannon St. Clair. Whether you're shopping for men or women's clothing, you'll find sizes from small to 3X. Also, shop her handcrafted jewelry, hats, handbags, and Greek paraphernalia. With over 100 celebrities wearing her designs and accessories, you'll be sure to find what you need at Shannon St. Clair Boutique. Call for your appointment today at 954-812-8088 or shop the boutique online at shannonstclair.com.
Welcome everybody. My name is Chef Chad Cherry and I'm so happy to be here with you for Rochelle Lightfoot's virtual Kwanzaa celebration. Kwanzaa is one of those things every year that me and the family partake of, and this year is no different. But I wanted to bring some love to you. So we are going to do a dish that is reminiscent of some true African traditions. I'm talking about soul food, but soul food not in the way you know it. We've all heard of fried green tomatoes, but you've never seen them like this. Let's go over our ingredients and I'll talk about the dish. We are going to do what's called a fried green tomato stack. That's gonna have some roasted collard greens and some grilled chicken on top. So let's go through the ingredients here for our tomatoes. Since we don't have green, because they're out of season, or they're all fresh, we're gonna use regular red tomatoes. We're gonna use some scallions as a garnish. We've got some avocado because the crisp of the tomatoes with the cool of the avocado is gonna be amazing. Some onions, which will go with our roasted collard greens, which is a new style of collard greens for most people, and grilled chicken, which is gonna be pulled and placed on top. And to highlight, because we're also gonna talk about health in this one, we're gonna use some almond flour, right? And some balsamic for a sauce. So we're gonna make this as an ode to beautiful soul food, but we're gonna make it healthier, delicious, and light. Join me for this meal. So we're gonna get our chicken going, and to do that, simple. I'm gonna grab a bowl, I'm gonna put my chicken in, we're gonna pre-season it, and we're going to get it into a skillet and start sauteing it. So go ahead, preheat your pan, preheat it on high. As always, do not add any oil in. And now that since we're working with raw food, what I'm gonna do is work with wet hand, dry hand. So one hand is gonna be contaminated, and that's the hand I'm trying to open this indestructible package of chicken with. Why did they make it so tough? Okay. And the other hand is not going to touch anything raw so that it can touch everything else. All right, just a couple of pinches on one side, and I'm just gonna rub this in. Since this is vinegar and not lemon juice, I'll use the extra juice that's in the bowl later on as a liquid to kind of give me maybe like a little bit of a gravy. We'll see where we end up. Checkerboard pattern, so down and over. This way you're using less oil. That is a hack to make your dishes healthier. Find you a squeeze bottle. Put your chicken in presentation side down. So that means the top side down. Hear that sear, okay? You can't smell this aroma, but that marsala smells amazing. Oh my God. Right, we're putting it in. Even though I don't have to wait too long, I'm still giving it just a few seconds in between each one because I want to make sure that my pan retains some heat. Oh, woo. This is nice. This is nice. So I'm going to do something called crowding the pan, which you normally don't want to do. But for the end result on this chicken, we're okay. We're okay for this particular dish. Okay? For this particular dish, I give you permission to crowd the pan. Remember, don't get rid of that juice. Save that. We're going to use that later. Sharp knife is very important for this. Let's grab our tomatoes. We'll open them up. Maybe I don't need scissors. There we go. And the goal here is to make rounds. So we'll lay the tomato down like so, and I'm gonna turn so you can see me. And cut off the stem because we don't want that piece. Okay, that's not a part of it. You can, but just medium thickness, not too thick, not too thin. The biggest thing is to make sure that they're not too thin. If they're a little too thick, that is okay. Thicker is not bad in this case. When you get to the back, I'm gonna trim that off so that I can get 2 tomatoes. And remember, don't force it. Don't apply pressure. Sharp knife is good, just don't apply pressure, pull it out. You see these type of tomatoes, they're smaller than the beef steaks. They're firmer, they don't fall apart as easy. That's why I picked these tomatoes. So we're gonna season them all, and we're gonna put these aside. Now, whenever you add salt to a vegetable or fruit, it's gonna pull the natural water out of that. You want that to happen in this case because we need to put a crust on here. And the only way the crust is gonna stick is if there's a little bit of liquid. So this is why you prep them this way. So we have our tomatoes, they look good, they're a nice roast. Let's move those to the side. And now let's prepare our flour and our dip. So start with some water, okay, in your bowl. Let's give a little bit more water. All right, this is something that's super cheap, so if you have a little bit of waste, don't worry about it. We're gonna add a little hot sauce. Now, I know a lot of people don't like spicy. Don't worry, this will not be spicy. The hot sauce gives us a nice bit of flavor right in there, right? And then we're gonna add our flours. Today, we're gonna use a combination of almond flour, which is better for you, and some regular flour, all right? We're doing this because, once again, we're trying to eat better. Healthy is a moving target, but we can always do better. So add your almond flour right in there. Okay, and you've got to add just a little bit of your regular flour. So for that, I'm going to use some self-rising. When I say a little bit, maybe just a quarter of a cup. And I'm not going to measure, I'm going to eyeball this, but you don't need a lot. Let's go for our consistency here. Let's whisk this up. Okay, let's whisk this. Okay, it does not have to be super thick. This is still a little thin. So we're gonna add just a little bit more, but it's more so to get a coating. So we're gonna add just a little more regular flour, we're gonna whisk it, and we're gonna be ready. While that's happening, we also have to have our flour that we're dipping, which here, I already have some seasoned flour, but I'm gonna show you how to make it. So you would put about a half a cup of regular flour into the bottom. You're gonna add equal amounts almond flour, right? Then you want to season your flour. Now, I don't care what any other chef says. This is straight from mom. Season your flour. Here, you can put a little kosher salt, which has less sodium than table salt. And I mean just a little, okay? And then whatever seasoning that you're going to cook with, and for my tomatoes, it's gonna be our Southern fried chicken seasoning. You go ahead, you drop that into the flour. That's important, okay? Into the flour. You can use a little more seasoning than usual because flour has a way of washing away seasoning. And we just mix this up. I'm shaking it, but you can just mix it up, okay? You don't have to use big bowls and a whisk. You can use small bowls at your home and a fork and make them in proportion. So if you don't have big bowls, don't worry about it. If you don't have a bowl at all for your flour, my mom used to do it in a Ziploc bag. And it was amazing every time. Can you see this here? It looks cloudy. It's got a little green tint because of my hot sauce. At home, most people will use red hot sauce. Does not matter the type of hot sauce you use. If you use red, it'll have a little bit of a red tint, but I chose green because, you know, green tomatoes, whatever. Don't mind me. All right, here is the all-important steps. I'm going to use a spoon because I don't want to get this all over my hands. Right, drop a couple in. Let them submerge, let them really get coated in there, okay? Drop a couple in, drop a couple in. Ooh, that's looking good. Now, you notice I'm using a big bowl, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't wanna have to do this too many times. I'm gonna take one, shake off some of the excess, and I'm gonna drop it. All right? And I should show you this one by one, shouldn't I? Let's do it right. Once you drop it in, put some of the coating right on top. Okay? Place it there. Now, if you want a little extra crunch, and I wanted to show the difference, that's why I'm waiting, we'll add in some breadcrumbs. I wanted to show you how to do it like this in case you do not have breadcrumbs at your house. I don't want you to go out and buy extra ingredients. If you have it, use it. If you don't worry about it. I had it, so I'm gonna use it, but I just want you to know that if you don't have it, it's still just fine. Okay, so the rest of mine are gonna have breadcrumbs in it. Drop it in. The same thing, put a little flour on top, press down. I got a good coating, put it back. And you see, they look very similar. Drop it in, and we're gonna repeat this process until all of our tomatoes are coated, and then we're ready to pan fry them and enjoy some of this deliciousness. I hope you're excited. I'm excited about this one. So I'm starting here, avocado, and we're just gonna roll our knife. Roll our knife, right? When you get to the end, you pull it. Now we still have to get our seed out. You should be able to just pull. And if that seed doesn't want to come out like that, get you a spoon. It will come out. Eventually. Maybe we'll get the whole avocado out before we get the seed out. That's okay too. That's okay too, because I can scoop it out. Don't worry about the avocados being super pretty. Right? Just scoop them out. And I'm telling you, don't worry about it because we're gonna put these right on top of the tomatoes, which I do have to attend to very quickly. All right, the first step in our presentation is to put down our first layer, which are our greens. So I don't want to get any of the juice from the greens. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let it drain a little bit. We're going to put the greens right down. So try to contain them. They are greens. They want to go where they want to go. But in this case, we want them to do what we want them to do. Okay, so those are our greens. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take this beautiful one right here. And this bad boy, yes, 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 with the crust right there. Come on, we're all going. This one. So we're gonna plate 3 beautiful tomatoes right there, okay? Now on top of the tomatoes, this is where we have to have a little bit more fun with it. Let's get some avocado, okay? Just gonna put some out real quick. Once again, we're just having a little bit of fun, right? A couple of avocado right on top. Come on, you can do this. There you go, you can separate. Now, what's the magic number in food? 3. But 2 is just fine. We're gonna go with 2, whatever. All right, we don't have to be perfect, but just 2 avocados just right there. So this is the start of the plate. It's looking amazing. We're going to finish this off with our beautiful shredded chicken. All right, put a little bit right on top. A little bit. Just finish it off with our shredded chicken and a drizzle of our balsamic. And don't worry if some of the chicken falls, it's okay. That happens as you're making stuff. It's fine, right? This is just what we do. Okay, that's too big. I got a little too ambitious, y'all. Okay, that's perfect. We don't care. It doesn't have to be perfect with this. Hold on. I do have to flip my tomatoes though, because we're gonna eat those. All right. So, a little balsamic. Shake it up. This is our drizzle. All right, beautiful, and a dash of chives and scallions. And this, my friends, this is our tomato stack, right? Based off of fried green tomatoes. You see how we elevated this amazing plate. It's super light, super healthy. It's affordable, and it's awesome for you and the family. You can make it, it stretches. Let's go.
Seeking more education and information? Head on over to the Henderson Financial Group Facebook page for a full hour of the American Cream, each and every Saturday morning at 9:15. And on Wednesdays at noon, join Hyacinth and Robert Henderson for their web series, Transition, where they share their personal journeys on life, lessons, and legacy. Check out the Henderson Financial Group for a full lineup of free educational shows.
We all want to make a place in this world. We all want our voices to be heard. Everyone wants a chance to be someone. We all have dreams we need to dream. Sweeter than any star you can reach. 'Cause when you reach and find you found someone, you hold this world's most priceless thing. The greatest gift this life can bring is when you look back and know you were loved. You were loved by someone, touched by someone, held by someone, meant something to someone. Love somebody, touch somebody's heart along the way. You can look back and say, you were loved. Yes, you were. You can have time have all the riches in the land, but without love, you really don't have nothing at all. When somebody cares that you're alive, when somebody trusts you with their life, that's when you know you have all you need. You hold this world's most priceless gift, the final treasure that there is. You can look back and know you were loved. Oh, you were loved by someone, touched by someone, held by someone, meant something to someone, loved somebody, touched somebody's heart along the way. You can look back and say, you were loved. So many roads that you can take, whatever road you go, there's something you should know. You should know you are loved by someone, touched by someone, held by someone, meant something to someone, love somebody, touch somebody's heart along the way. You can look back and say, you did okay. You were loved. So remember to tell that special one, hey, you were loved, you were loved, you were loved, you were loved, hey.
Are you not sure what to wear to your next business meeting, conference, interview, or that special event? Then call Christy Grace Chambers, your wardrobe and lifestyle specialist and founder of I Am Chic. Yes, Christy has it covered. Specializing in virtual consultations, styling for day-to-day and special occasions, closet audits, and so much more. Be sure to tune in to Christy's monthly show, Fashion Politically Speaking, on NBC's 6 in the Mix. To schedule an appointment, visit her website, iamchic.net. That's iamchic.net. Sit back, relax, and know that Christy has it covered. Join us tomorrow for my next episode of our Kwanzaa celebration series. If you enjoyed the show, I ask that you like and subscribe to my channel. You'll get all the latest updates on my new docuseries entitled Soul Moments, which is an intimate look into my musical journey. I'm Rochelle Lightfoot, and I thank you for watching.
It's a holiday. Let's celebrate.